This is the Retirement Solution Podcast with financial advisor Jon Hicks, founder of J. Hagan Capital.
And I'm Heather Branch, here with Jon Hicks, financial advisor and founder of J. Hagan Capital, here to help you gain some education and knowledge on your opportunities for your financial future, focusing on your retirement. And retirementsolutionshow.com is where to find Jon and his team anytime to get started on the conversation, because conversations are abound. You, I think, are the leading the charge when it comes to the Trump administration back in the White House. And what the heck does that mean for us?
Minute by minute, we don't know. Mm-hmm. I mean, there has been more done in the first 100 hours of this administration than in any other period of time that I recall. I mean, it's mind-numbing what's going on. Yeah. And I don't know that if all of us are fully even aware of everything that's happening. Yeah. Some of it may be great, some of it may be terrible. We don't yet know. Yeah. All I know is that there's a lot going on.
Time will tell.
A lot.
Okay.
A lot going on.
Let's speak specifically about, I mean, obviously we all want to, it's a me problem, right? Jon, what about me? How is this going to help me?
Of course.
So the last jobs report of 2024, it came in positive. More than 250,000 jobs were added, and the unemployment rate dropped from 4.2 to 4.1%. However, on the news, the stock market actually went down because this news likely means that the Fed is going to pause interest rate cuts again. Strategist Ken Polcari was telling Fox Business that this might be the rule for 2025.
I don't think we're going to have a rate cut all year, quite honestly. And I've been saying it for a while. Yeah. I think the data's been telling us that the Fed has been wrong. The bond market's been telling us that the Fed has been wrong. The labor market was not slowing the way that Jay Powell told us it was in September when he had to make that very bold 50 basis point rate cut. Made no sense. And now it makes even less sense.
Ken's got thoughts.
Polcari is on a roll. Look at this. Man, he basically had a lot to say, but he's not incorrect. He's not incorrect. Okay. There's a lot of data out there that shows that basically the Fed has gotten it wrong when they were doing the rate cutting situation. So the market plummets because they want more free money. Let's be real, right? So who doesn't want to be able to go back and be able to get a home mortgage for 3% again, right?
Right.
Everyone wants that. Banks want to be able to create more money. Everyone that has a company wants more free access to capital. It's good. But what we're finding is that no matter what Trump said on the election campaign speech and whatever he said up to now, inflation's not going anywhere right now. Yeah. And it's not typically a bad thing, but when you have a growing economy, typically you're often going to have higher inflation. Okay. So we're going to have to see what happens. But I think I agree with Polcari there. I don't think, at least right now, the Fed can really sensibly talk about reducing rates. Because if they reduce them too quickly, then we'll have that spiraling out of control inflation again. And to be honest with you, I'm tired of paying $3.50 for a dozen eggs.
Preaching to the choir. Amen to that, sir.
Come on.
All right, so...
I mean, I love omelets. This is a terrible thing in my family right now.
We need that good, healthy protein.
Come on, man.
All right, so thinking about folks that you work with, folks 55 and older, folks who are thinking about retirement in the next 3 to 5 to 10 years or already retired. There was this survey from Global Atlantic Financial Group finding that people of this age group, 55 to 75, 60% of them would rather protect their existing savings than seek growth on their wealth, understandably, because of phase of life. But thinking about, I want to bring all of this together, thinking about what Ken was talking about. If interest rates stay where they are, does this open up new opportunities? How do we find a balance with everything that's shaken up right now?
Yeah, I think this is really interesting. So when 6 out of 10 people nearing retirement age say that, hey, they would much rather have some security, they'd much rather have protection of their money than growth, there's something about that may be a little bit of a paradigm shift. And I'm not saying it's good or bad.
Okay.
But think about that. I remember a story that Jack Bogle told years ago. Jack Bogle was the founder of Vanguard Funds, which kind of revolutionized a lot of investing for most of us, Americans. And crazily, he told a story about a billionaire talking to basically a common worker who had saved a couple $100,000.
Okay.
And the billionaire was kind of being hoity-toity and kind of snooty, and the worker just kind of looks up and says, Mr. Billionaire, there's one thing that I'll have that you'll never have. And the billionaire responds, what could that possibly be?
Right.
And the worker said, enough. He already has enough. He doesn't need to make $1 billion. That's not how it works. You can listen to countless Sammy Hagar songs and Brad Paisley songs and Kenny Chesney songs talking about the simple life and how good it can be. Guys, this is probably what this tells me more than anything. 60% of those getting closer to retirement polled in the survey says, hey, I think I might have enough. And why would they have enough? Because the market up until, we got some volatility now, but the market has been pretty good over the past decade, and people are sitting on top of close to the highest amount of money they've ever had. Now, I find this really interesting because also when you look at people out there, we do not have the pensions that we used to have. So that's troublesome, right? We have had higher inflation and things like that, but people just said, listen, I just don't want to lose it again. Maybe they're cautiously optimistic about this administration too, and they're just thinking, hey, I just don't want one bad day to start a new civil war or one bad tweet to cause China to cause another Cold War. I would much rather just protect what I got. And guys, there has probably been I can't think of too many other environments which were as attractive as they are right now to put some safety nets on portfolios. We still have pretty high interest rates. I mean, money markets are still paying 4.5% to 5% in some cases, which is really good. Okay. But the crazy thing is you don't have to be that conservatively safe. You can put safety nets and hedges on your portfolio and still earn, Heather, 7, 8, 9, 10%. There was a gentleman that I talked to the other day. We had put him in an account that was secure on the downside. He got 13% return over this past year. Okay. He was like, oh my gosh, John, I can't believe. I was like, hey, it's not that the product is that great. It's the fact that the period of time that we owned it was really good. And this year he's deciding, hey, do I want to do this again? Or do I want to pull my money out and go into NVIDIA or Microsoft or Apple? Guys, those are the things that exist. So if you're one of those people that's thinking, hey, maybe I do have enough, then don't have the opportunity to lose it where you don't have enough. It wasn't that long ago that we just saw the market take a gyration, a punch in the mouth, and NVIDIA stock fell like 20% in a flipping day. When China says, hey, we got some good AI stuff too. You never know when that's going to happen. So if you're one of those people that said, I would much rather have some safety nets, guys, those exist out there. If you're not aware of those ways to use hedging or options or derivatives or putting safety nets on your portfolios, guys, this is what my team does every day. We want to take advantage of the opportunities this new administration may offer, but we're not willing to risk everything in case we get it wrong or the hopes that we have don't come to fruition.
RetirementSolutionShow.com is where to start the conversation with Jon and his team at J. Hagan Capital, understanding the safety net options that you have, understanding the idea that you don't want to lose all your money again, because for so many people of a certain age, Jon, we remember 2008.
Of course.
We also... there has been some talk about, are we getting greedy as a society because of this incredible bull run that we still, for all intents and purposes, we're still on.
Absolutely.
And for those that are close to retirement, is there an essence at all of, oh God, is it coming? Like what could happen? I don't want that to wreck me now at this phase in my life. How are you managing that conversation?
Sure. Well, I mean, if you look at 23 and 24, those are both fairly good years in the market.
Yep.
But you only have to go to 22, where bonds were down over 16, 17%. The stock market was down over 19, 20%. So when you look at those things, it wasn't that long ago that we had a pretty good punch in the face. Now, did we recover from that? Yes. Quickly. But that is not necessarily the standard, right? Usually we don't get a recovery that quickly. The average market downturn lasts for anywhere between 18 to 36 months. So we're talking about most market downturns don't last a period of months. They last a little bit of time. In the recovery period, if we go back to the dot-com bust, it took from 2002 all the way to 2007 to get back to even. Guys, that's 7 years of having losses on your statements, staring at you with that red ink right there in your face for 7 years. And lo and behold, what happened in 2008? Boom. They took it right back. If you had invested in the NASDAQ in the year 2000, You did not get your money back until 2017, Heather. 2007, that's 17 years that you did not have the same type of money you had in 2000. Now, if you're a younger investor, like most of us were back then, and you can afford to hold on and you didn't freak out and throw in the towel, did you get your money back?
Yes.
Yeah. And from 2017 to right now, did the market go up tremendously more than that? It absolutely did. But what if you were thinking about retirement and you needed to pull an income? You just wanted to live off of 4 or 5, 6% a year. And people say, John, all the time, no, you can't live off 6%. You absolutely can get 5, 6, 7% on your money that you can spend and work on in retirement if you have the right strategy around it. You can't do that with a basket of tech stocks. You have to understand, if you want a higher income stream, you can create that, but it requires a different strategy. But people don't want to wait 13, 14, 15, 17 years to get back to even. They want to be able to retire. So that is where that concept and that whole strategy and that story of Jack Bogle saying, hey, listen, guys, you just got to know, you already won the game. You could literally retire tomorrow if you understood one word: enough. If you have enough, the question is, what are you willing to do to protect it? Because one other sage or oracle is Warren Buffett. And Warren Buffett says the same thing. He says, never risk what you can't afford to lose to gain what you don't need. Think about that. Never risk what you can't afford to lose to gain what you don't need. That's just a lot more words to basically say, hey, dude, you got enough. Why don't you just put some protections in place and start planning the way you want to enjoy your money, your wealth, the fruits of your labor? Do that. And guys, if we all did that, I think we'd be in a much better position. This is why at my office, this is what we talk with people about. It's not about being the richest person in the graveyard. It's like, what do we really need? What is your enough? How much income do we want to spend monthly? Do you want to go to Madrid? Do you want to have a Mediterranean cruise? Do you want to have a lake house where the grandkids can come see you every summer and you can teach them how to fish and dive off the docks? Those are the things we want to deal with. It's not just finances. It's using our finances to create the lifestyle that we've always dreamed about. Or if we haven't started dreaming about it yet, maybe we start today.
Do you have enough to create the lifestyle that you want for yourself and your family in your retirement years? Let's get to work crunching the numbers and showing you what your options are. Increasing your safety, decreasing your risk, creating income streams for your retirement. These are all of the factors that go into the plans they build at J. Hagan Capital and that they can build for you as well. Get started on that conversation. Visit us today, retirementsolutionshow.com.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Solution Podcast with Jon Hicks. Begin the conversation about your savings plan with Jon and the team at J. Hagan Capital by visiting retirementsolutionradio.com. Be sure to listen to Jon's radio show, The Retirement Solution, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and Sundays at 9 a.m. on News Radio 840 WHAS.
J. Hagan Capital Incorporated is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if J. Hagan Capital Incorporated is licensed in your state, please call 502-690-5635. J. Hagan Capital Incorporated is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through J. Hagan Capital, LLC, NPN number 1882794.